Very, very sad about Dani Alves, though. It was a long time coming. And for such a decorated player to have his career end in abject and absolute disgrace is sad. And I think it's a lesson. It's a lesson, for footballers, as what happened to Blessing Okagbari too, is a lesson to athletes. Keep on the straight and narrow. Try not to expose yourself, because there's so many temptations out there, so many things. And
he can appeal, though.
Yeah, you can appeal, but he's been sentenced. He can appeal.
Overturn it.
Well,
like I said,
till then. Till then, but right now he's guilty. And for such, and this guy's 40. He's not a child. He's not, he's not a Mason Greenwood. Or a young up and coming that doesn't know better. Come on now, And as I always say, don't place yourself in, but whatever. As I said, ours not to judge. The major things has happened, and it's really sad. We take no pleasure. Or, I always loved Dani Alves to bits, because he squeezed every bit out of his footballing career, playing for some of the top clubs. The biggest clubs in the world, and flying high for Brazil as well, playing really well. He was a bit part player in any club that he played for. So to see this happen to him, it's really, really sad. And it just makes you wonder, how, There was one thing about life, when you see somebody fall, instead of gloating at the person, you just wonder, how did this person, I like to at times use other people's experiences to learn from. I mean, life is about learning from the other, but times, what could have happened? How could he have done things differently? You understand? And one chance encounter in a nightclub has led to this. And you start to wonder, what could have happened? You understand? It's a lesson in life and for everybody, and it's really, really sad. And the Remo Stars as well. I'm rooting for them. The youth team. I've been to their complex twice, and they have superb facilities there. Superb facilities. I've watched the young boys train when I went there. It was last year, November something. Yeah, so they came for an event, and I was hugely impressed. Very serene environment, and it's nice. This could be where we can actually start recruiting. Getting young boys that can get into teams, to the MPFL teams, and and hopefully, find their way to playing in the under 17, under 20, and eventually Super Eagles. It'd be lovely if it can happen.
All right, just to give further information on the Tigers, the communique that came out yesterday, we did say here that they were going to have a meeting with the sport minister, and after the meeting, the sport minister gave his consent for the MBBF leadership to do all that they can to see that the Tigers participate in the qualifiers, with an assurance that the necessary funds will be approved and the funds released within the next 3 weeks to pay for the flight tickets of the team, allowances and other logistics for the qualifiers. It goes on to say, we can now authoritatively confirm that the D Tigers are on their way to Tunisia and should arrive at the nick of time for the qualifiers and their match. This communique put out yesterday, after all that happened, after all the announcements made.
This story is so ironical because two sports ministers, one will be remembered for refusing to allow basketballers to go for a competition, a World Cup that he fought out to qualify for, and one apparently pulled a rabbit out of the hat for another set of national basketballers to attend the tournament. So I like what I'm seeing about John N. I don't know anything about him, but the very fact that he's not over the front of the newspapers like his predecessors, he's moving quietly and unobtrusively, and there seems to be a lack of drama about him, and I really appreciate that.
But there's just something funny about.
Let me just finish. Kida, who was also at the meeting, that's the head honcho at the MBBF, he did say that while appreciating and applauding the support of the sports ministry, and especially the Honourable Minister of Sports, in his usual manner of thoughtfulness and thoroughness in ensuring that the team makes the trip to the qualifiers, even if very late, the president did say that his team will rise up to the occasion and ensure that all is done for the team to depart for Tunisia at such short notice and save Nigeria from huge embarrassment locally and internationally. This has quickly doused the anger of FIBA and pessimists who do not understand the internal financial situation that the MBBF is faced with, especially the huge outsourcing liabilities of the MBBF that are still outstanding unpaid from 2019. Yes, even though this is coming late, it is heartwarming that our boys would eventually take part in the qualifiers for the 2025 Afro Basketball Championship, Kida remarked. And he goes on to say the board of the MBBF is deeply grateful to the Honourable Minister of Sports for coming good with his timely support and, of course, saving the country from disgrace and another FIBA ban.
Just to add to what you said about the ministers, this is the third minister in a row basketball is having an issue with. In a row, because I remember the first one with Ballon. It's on the diary.
Well, it's always been controversial. Yeah, it's always been a millstone around their neck.
Yeah, really. So for me, there's something the MBBF needs to do better in terms of maybe communication, interfacing with the minister, putting you, because now we know the next qualifiers for D Tigers is in February of 2025. Once you finish this one, it's 2025. So I don't know what you're going to do. You're not going for the Olympics, men. Put in the request as early as we can, so we get this resolved. We need to go for this break.
Welcome back. Interesting story. Inter Miami forward Lionel Messi has given away his latest Ballon d'Or trophy only months after he won it controversially ahead of Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe. Last October, Messi was crowned the best player in the world for a record 8th time after he led Argentina to glory at the World Cup in Qatar. The 36-year-old was handed the award almost 7 months from winning the one major honor that had eluded him throughout his career. It left some fans and pundits furious as they felt that City's Haaland was more deserving. However, 4 months on from the award win, Messi has given away his latest individual prize, and what he's done is that he's donated his Ballon d'Or trophy to Barcelona despite not winning it with his old club. This will allow Barcelona to place their all-time great former players' 8th award alongside the other 7 that are in their club museum.
They need them.
That is the weirdest thing ever.
They need them.
It's a lovely gesture, and shows the love he has for that club.
It's confusing. I don't know why. It's just but hey, I don't know. It's
and I'm happy Haaland did win it anyway. So nice.
That's
pure Babylon. Yeah, it's pure Babylon. But round up with the Tiger story. Good story. Better late than never. This is a typical thing. Would have been a huge embarrassment and everything. Everybody would have been up in arms. So I'm happy. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Then the Falcons flying to the Lionesses' den. You get the pun? They're flying to the Lionesses' den tonight. I know they will fly and they will soar. They will Veni Vidi Vici. They will come see and conquer, whatever that Julius Caesar quotation is. And I believe they'll win on the road. That's my belief. I'm very, very, very optimistic about our chance of qualifying. This is the final round, Abby. Was there one after this?
There's one up.
Sorry? There's one after it. Well, we'll get past Cameroon. That's I'm quietly confident about. Quietly confident.
All right, so what the coach has done, he says he's going to... That's Randy Waldrum is in charge of the team, by the way. Says that he's set to unleash the trio of Azizat Oshola, Rashidat Ajibade and Uchenna Kanu against the Lionesses of Cameroon today in Douala for a place in the final round of an African qualifying series for this year's Women's Olympic Football Tournaments. Do remember the return leg is 3 days after today, which I think on Wednesday.
26.
Yes?
26.
What day is 26? Tuesday or Wednesday? In Abuja.
It's a Wednesday.
And so...
Yes, it's a Wednesday. No, it's not Wednesday.
It's Tuesday.
29th is, and it's Tuesday, yeah.
So,
it's not Monday. What?
It's Monday. It's Monday.
It's Monday. It's really close.
Mm-hmm. It's Monday,
really
26 is Monday.
Really close.
Okay, so that done with. Let's take a few calls if they are coming through. The lines are open and take messages as well. Any coming through?
Oh yes, there are quite a few messages.
Okay.
People are trying to settle fight. No, they should also focus on their life. Okay. So, David has finally manned up to say, "I don't suffer this morning." About that,
David, I did go area. This place too far from area. It was at zone 2. Zone 2. I did go zone 2 from here.
Let me just also say, the high-profile friendly between the Super Eagles and world champions Argentina will be played at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. That's in the USA on Tuesday, March of 26.
Which players are we taking there? Which players are we taking there?
What do you mean, which players?
Which one are we taking then? Are we taking our A team or our B team?
Hello, world champions.
It has to be your A team.
A team now.
All right. Let's see if they will.
With Stanley in goal for a start.
Okay. It's obvious you guys are on air. Someone says obviously you guys are on air to argue to iron out grudges. Thank you very much, Kingsley, for your thought. Kingsley from Isolo. Thank you. Okay. Tosin from Marina also. Thank you for your thoughts.
Why you don't read any message? You're just thinking.
I'm thanking you. I'm not thinking.
Hello, good morning.
I'm thanking them for their thoughts.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Charles. Wow, first time caller. Hey.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Where's my?
Let's do your bell.
Take it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, hi. Oh, I don't know how I called. Anyway, Mr. Charles, I wanted to just speak regarding what the argument that shared up today. So, in other words, what you're saying, if someone works for 30 days and then he has not been paid and he feels he will be paid the following month and then he works another 30 days and that's 2 months gone and then the person is not paid, the person will just walk away and then the employer goes over, employs another person, does the same thing and every 2 months he doesn't pay but he gets 3 services from people. I think that is not fair because from your point, that is what some employers will read into, and they'll feel like, okay, since nothing is going to happen to them,
that's not the point.
Employ people, not pay them,
That's,
and go. And that's what you're saying.
That's not the point. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I was trying to make is when your employer does not pay you for whatever reason. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello.
Oh, the line is still not clear.
We can hear you clearly.
I don't think he understood. Anyway, what he was saying. He's saying, if
my name is Ayo.
you pay, all right.
Ayo, thank you very
much. Ayo,
thanks. If somebody doesn't pay you, it's not enough for you to go and start collecting side hustle. Mm-hmm. That is detrimental. Something that is bad. That's what he's saying.
No, that's not even side hustle. Everybody's entitled to have a side hustle.
Illegal hustle.
Uh-huh.
Illegal hustle. That's bribery. Okay. You're collecting bribery at the back. That's.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Charles. How are you doing?
I'm alright. How are you?
I'm doing good. Femi, and good morning.
Morning.
My name is James.
Morning, James.
So, it's good that Charles was taking time to clarify what I was saying because I think I got it clearly. Okay, so I'd like to tell you this experience I had. I began my career in 2000. By 2015, I was pretty much hired in my organization and in my industry. I lost my job. So I was asked to come to this organization to work there. I need to put for able to pay school fees, the expense of that. The salary was a third of what I was getting. It was terrible. Working anywhere I got in, I found things were very bad. The owner, one-man business, he had a way of robbing all his employers. One, employees. If you were any 10 naira a month, for instance, he would deduct 2 naira from that 10 naira. Get to keep it for a whole year and then give it back to you when you go and leave and say that is your leave allowance. He will not pay you 13th month. He will not pay you any benefit at all. It was essentially a contract work arrangement, disguised as a proper whatever. I didn't have a choice as to it. Now, his management staff, one of them are going to be my friend. Actually, 2 of them. I've known them for a while. See, these 2 guys and the third person were robbing this man blind because they were given the same treatment, but they had access to money, and they robbed him thoroughly. And when they left, they just went someplace else. Now, Charles' argument is that if someone is not paying your salary and essentially treating you inappropriately as regards your remunerations, you just get up and walk. And if you don't walk, there's something wrong with your integrity level. You know, this is I've known you for a very long time. I have no respect for it. But I think it's an argument of someone who has never known hunger. It's an argument. When you're hungry, my good friend, and your children are at home, your wife is there, you have to pay school fees and everything, and somebody is rubbing you blind at your, you're not giving you what you are supposed to get. I felt sorry that I wasn't part of that money, because I would have rubbed him blind. I would have rubbed him blind.
Okay.
This is something that goes on in Nigeria all the time. I left the place in 2018. It's still going on now.
Okay. All right. We get your point.
So,
Thank you.
James.
Thanks.
What I have to say about
Okay. All right.
All right,
Thank you.
James. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let
Goodness.
me read a few more messages before we go for a break. It's quite a lot of them. So, a lot of them are, yes, thank you very much. I'm just going to call the names because they are all going. Stephen from Victoria Island, thank you very much for your message. Okay, this one has no name. Thank you also for your message. Just Blaze, thank you for your thoughts.
How will no name know that it's him you're talking about?
No, I did not put his name, so that's his luck now. This one here says, Yemi from Ibejuleki. Thank you as well. You shared your thoughts about salary or no salary. Thank you. I'm looking for something that doesn't have to do with us picking a side. Licky from Anthony.
All right. Let's take a few calls coming through as well. Hello,
I greet you.
Kelvin. How no?
The God be the glory. The pundit.
Baba Bechi, morning. How you doing? What-
Good morning.
What a guan.
I not be Rastafarian. I be Karakuta man. Now what I go and ask Rastafarians, they go tell you.
Raski Bono, what a guan.
Yes, so,
They saw recipes. Kelvin, we're losing you. You think I think we've lost you.
Hello. Good morning.
hello, good morning, Mr. Charles.
Morning, Mr. Master Show.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A good one from Olorunleke with you. Apart from Olorunleke, he didn't even play at the Nations Cup. I did bring out from the MPFL. What would have happened to our teams in Nigeria? Let's think about that. Thank you.
I didn't get that.
What did he say?
I didn't get it. But I think it says if more players had featured from MPFL, what's the advantage to our teams?
I don't know.
Because we know that for FIFA.
For
local
FIFA,
clubs,
they get paid.
Yes, local
they
clubs get paid.
I don't know whether CAF does that. Just recognition, just encouragement that you are playing for your side and you're recognized for your efforts. For me, you understand.
This is what Amber did. Amber did a guard of honor. I was a bit surprised they did a guard of honor for Ojo and.
I think it was more about appreciating, what they had accomplished at the Cup of Nations.
But guard of honor. Guard of honor. I'm starting to be corrected. The guard of honor
It's for the winner.
Yes.
I know, but
still appreciate they did
yeah,
well.
I think it's just
Dortmund appreciated Haller, even though they could have done a guard of honor, but they just normal. Everyone we saw different clubs. They just came. Even what's his name? Brentford appreciated. What's his name?
Balinga, whatever it
they
is.
did. So normal.
Adinga is
Yes,
Brighton.
they did Brighton. They all did when he came in. Oh, you know what? They're clapping. They're all looking at you.
And for a job well done now, for getting to the
God
final
of
at
honor.
least.
Not guard of
For
honor.
getting to the final.
No, I think that's
Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing
Guard
wrong
of
with
honor.
it. Nothing wrong. A big shout out to Dr. Durujai, Duchess Hospital. Met you yesterday. Morning, doctor. Keep on listening to the show. I hope you're listening today.
Don't like any of my business. Where did you go to do?
I took my mom there for a medical checkup. Good song. Good song.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Shagay, I greet you.
Chief, good morning. How are you?
Chief, when you come,
He's back. Chief has returned.
Chief,
when you come back,
It took a while.
I've been back since Tuesday now.
how many days?
3 days road trip.
Just a day after the competition.
Did you fly?
Did I not call you?
Yeah, you spoke now. No, man, I mentioned the same and you talk.
Did you fly?
Charles is insinuating now.
I said, did you fly? Yes or no? Now.
Yeah, I
Yes, in come out.
Chief, it's not their business how you came back.
The game ended on Sunday. I got home on Monday morning from the stadium. It was that bad. That stadium was overcrowded.
Wow.
And in fact, the distance you needed to trek from the stadium to get to where you could pick a bus officially to get to where your own vehicle is.
Wow.
It was a very long distance. So anybody who came back on Monday never wanted to rest.
Wow.
So there was every need for some of us to rest, and we came back on Tuesday. Some of us got back on Tuesday, and I called Shegun when I got back.
Yes, you did.
So,
don't mind them. They just don't mind.
The important thing is I'm back.
Don't mind these Obote people.
Why did you bring back?
Charles, you didn't know that a few persons died on that day.
We know.
Out of stampede, trying to get into the stadium on that finance.
Oh, trying to get into the stadium.
Trying to get into the stadium, security was overwhelmed.
Wow.
Tickets at a point in time, nobody was checking tickets. The gates were just open.
Wow.
And people were flocking in from town. There was no single space. Forget the official report of attendance given by the stadium authorities. They gave 57,000 and all of that. We were well over 65,000 in that stadium that day. Over 65, because there was no standing space, there was no sitting space. In fact, you were struggling. People were standing in front of you and all that. Supporters Club had to fight the battle to get a little space out of their own space to even manage to do what they needed to do. It wasn't as easy as some of you saw from television. Behind television was hell.
But I'm sure.
Shot tear gas at the stadium, outside the stadium, not inside now. That is, they could not control the crowd.
But I'm sure you expected the situation to be somewhat like that, considering how Cote d'Ivoire had gotten to the finals. I mean, being in the final itself, you were always going to have that sort of situation where the people would troop out en masse to support their team.
Yes, very well, but not to the extent that they would have overwhelmed security arrangements. CAF failed, the Ivorian police failed. In fact, it was a terrible situation, Charles.
Yeah,
to
but
the glory of God, somehow, we lost that game. If we had won that game, there would have been stampede at that stadium, and many would have died. I'm telling you from the standpoint of what I saw physically. So you remember when they lost to Equatorial Guinea? They went out and destroyed a lot of things. Even the buses provided by the government in conjunction with CAF that were ferrying people to the stadium, a lot of them were destroyed. And so on that final day, they overwhelmed security. I think CAF should look into that and subsequently and be prepared so that anytime, even from the distance, they were checking for those who had been tickets not to go in, but they were all overwhelmed. It was a serious thing that we went and came back out of that stadium that day. A few of us got stampeded, and some persons went in to rescue them. Otherwise, somebody left from my hotel and came back without shoes because he was down. In fact, he came out alive was miraculous. Charles, not be waiting me and you they talk like this.
But you look at the game in itself, and the support that you were there to give to the Super Eagles, at the start of the game, what was the mindset? What did you see? Did you think that the Super Eagles in any way would have overrun the Ivorians?
Well, Charles, even before that game, we had that 97% confidence that the Super Eagles were going to conquer the Ivorians. Not because we managed to beat them at the group stage. I said, because we defeated them through the penalty that was created by Osimhen and converted by Ekong. But that game against South Africa actually sapped out both the South African side, the Bafana, and the Super Eagles. That game was able, I don't know what happened at that game, but after that game, the two sides were unable to play well. Go check the game between South Africa and
Congo. It was
Congo.
dreadful. Congo should have beaten hell out of them.
South Africa was not in that game.
At all.
Our game against Ivory Coast as well. The Super Eagles were not in that game. But we tried to compete with the overwhelming support by the Ivorian fans at the stadium. Just when that one goal came by Ekong, that header, the stadium became very, very quiet. Until the end of, in fact, the supporters club voices took over the stadium because I said the Ivorian fans didn't even know how to support their team because the stadium went dead. Only the voices of the Nigerian supporters club were heard. But coming back into the game second half, the players themselves knew the implication of losing that game, and they came ready to die on the pitch because they knew what they suffered against Equatorial Guinea, where even the fans stoned them. They were stoned leaving the stadium when they lost to Equatorial Guinea by that scandalous result. And so when they came back second half fighting, I was not surprised. That boy, Adingra, is a devil. That boy terrorized and conquered, one of the strongest men we had in the defense.
Chief, we
use that wing very seriously.
Chief, we all saw the game, so we understand what you're talking about. But let's talk about what we didn't see. Did the supporters club and the Super Eagles have any sort of interaction? Did you meet with the players before the games, not just the final here?
Yes. Before the game against Angola, we were at the training ground of the Super Eagles. We visited them. We stayed for some time. We didn't have one-on-one interaction with the players, though, but we had a one-on-one interaction with a few officials, not the coach now, because they were very busy. That day was an open day. Okay, it was not the closed-door training session day, though. Thereafter, a few executives like Rafiu Ladipo, Reverend Samuel Ikpea, the national chairman of Supporters Club, and one or two other persons visited the hotel of the players, where they had opportunities to meet one-on-one with most of the players and even took photographs. That was before the game, before we left for South Africa, I guess, the semi-final game. And so that was when they were able to share one or two talks. And these players were in high spirits, Charles. But whatever happened at that final game, where we started defending a one goal from first half, trying to take that into second half, I think was a deficiency on the part of the coaching arrangement, which had worked for us in other games. Do you know something? That the former assistant coach of the Ivorian side that took over even made a confession after the round of 16 games, where he narrowly won and qualified for quarterfinal, when he stated that he was trying to copy the pattern of play of the Super Eagles and that the team was working for him. And then he had to improve on that. Some of the players that the initial coach, the coach that was sacked, was not starting with, where those he was not starting with that gave him those results. And then, in fact...
All right, Chief, we have to go. We do have to go.
If you want to be a part of us, first off, follow us across all social media pages at Lagos Talks 913 is our handle. And of course, kindly like, share, subscribe, and make sure you're a part of the Lagos Talks family.